Am I on? Oh, I am on. I'm sorry. When you have things that pop up on your screen, and I'm like, no, no, no. And I'm trying to click out of it. Didn't realize I wasn't muted. So I apologize. Listen, what's going on? My catchers, my Caspi Cake catchers. It's been a minute. Um, oh, what's going on? My video kind of paused. Um, it's been a minute since I've done a Bible reading. It's been like, oh my God, it's been like a couple of weeks. These last 2 weeks have been just nonstop. I caregive and I telework from, my mom's house throughout the week and then doing my 9 to 5. And then when I come home, which is supposed to be Bible readings Fridays, and sometimes I come home and I'm just so tired. But it is Sunday, and come on, Sunday, you know, a good Bible read on a Sunday, yes. I did my people will call it their bedside Baptist. On my way to my mom's, I have church um, online. I listen to two churches. I belong to the Potter's House. Shout out to Bishop Jakes and Pastor Sarah and her husband, Pastor Torre. Love that church. And then also I listen. I get kind of Church and God in Christ too. The Bishop Drew Sheard, Karen Clark Sheard, Evangelist Dorinda. So I get my church praise on throughout the week and Sunday. So, where we left off, you guys, this Bible reading is not only just for me to accomplish reading the entire Bible in its entirety, but whoever wants to listen and really get something out of it. When I read the Word of God, something inside me always stirs me up, and I can relate to some of the stories and I can relate to when God, because people don't realize, like where we're at in Genesis, you get to see God get a little upset because people think that God is just, oh, he's slow to anger. He forgives us for all that we do. But child, at the beginning of Genesis, he was like, y'all gonna get it. I'm gonna burn everything up because y'all are off the hook. You're not listening to me. You're not living right. You get to see God's true nature in Genesis. So I'm just really enjoying this. We left off at chapter 18. I'm going to read chapters 18, 19, and 20. And so, if you've been listening to my readings, you know that I love the Living Bible. And also, I'm a fan of the King James, but I use the Living Bible because it's really easy. It translates better for me, but I'm still a King James girl always because that's what I grew up on. The Lord appeared again to Abraham while he was living in the oak grove of Mamre. This is the way it happened. One hot summer afternoon, as he was sitting in the opening of his tent, he suddenly noticed three men coming towards him. He sprang up and ran to meet them and welcome them. Sirs, he said, please don't go any farther. Stop a while and rest here in the shade of this tree while I get water to refresh your feet and a bite to eat to strengthen you. Do stay a while before continuing your journey. All right, they said, do as you have said. Then Abraham ran back to the tent and said to Sarah, quick, mix up some pancakes, use your best flour, and make enough for the three of them. Then he ran out to the herd and selected a fat calf and told a servant to hurry and butcher it soon. Taking them cheese and milk and the roast veal, he set it before the men and stood beneath the trees beside them as they ate. Because Abraham and Sarah was ran out, by Pharaoh, honey. He when he found out that they was an actual couple and married, honey, he was upset. And Abraham thought they had a hustle, had a lick, as the old would say, and he ran them out of his kingdom, honey. He said, "Oh no, you lied to me." But anyway, child, let me get back. And this is verse 9. Sometimes I get to reading, child. I'm not telling y'all the verses, but now I'm on chapter 18, verse 9. "Where is Sarah, your wife?" they asked him in the tent. Abraham replied. Then the Lord said, "Next year I will give you and Sarah a son." Sarah was listening from the tent door behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were both very old, and Sarah was long since past the time when she could have a baby, meaning her eggs is powdery, honey. Okay. So Sarah laughed silently. "A woman my age having a baby? Child, please." She scoffed to herself, "with a husband as old as mine." Then God said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say, 'Can an old woman like me have a baby?' Is anything too hard for God? Next year, just as I told you, I will certainly see to it that Sarah has a son." But Sarah denied it. "I didn't laugh," she lied, for she was afraid. This is verse 16. Then the men stood up from their meal and started on toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them part of the way. "Should I hide my plan from Abraham?" God asked. "For Abraham shall become a mighty nation, and he will be a source of blessing for all the nations of the earth. And I have picked him out to have godly descendants and a godly household, men who are just and good, so that I can do for him all I have promised." So the Lord told Abraham, "I have heard that the people of Sodom and Gomorrah are utterly evil and that everything they do is wicked." Verse 21. "I am going down to see whether these reports are true or not. Then I will know." Verse 22. So the other two went on towards Sodom, but the Lord remained with Abraham a while. Then Abraham approached him and said, "Will you kill good and bad alike?" That's an interesting question. Verse 24. "Suppose you find 50 godly people there within the city. Will you destroy it and not spare it for their sakes?" Verse 25. "That wouldn't be right. Surely you wouldn't do such a thing to kill the godly with the wicked. Why, you would be treating godly and wicked exactly the same." Surely you wouldn't do that. Should not the judge of all the earth be fair? Verse 26, honey, and God replied, "If I find 50 godly people there, I will spare the entire city for their sake." Then Abraham, on verse 27, spoke again. Since I have begun, let me go on and speak further to the Lord, though I am but dust and ashes. Verse 28, suppose there are only 45. Will you destroy the city for lack of fire? Child, would you be asking God all these questions? He's kind of bold, ain't he? Okay. And God said, I will not destroy it if I find 45. Then Abraham went further with his request. Suppose there are only 40. And God replied, I won't destroy it if there are 40. Verse 30, please don't be angry, Abraham pleaded. Let me speak. Suppose only 30 are found there. And God replied, I won't do it if there are 30 there. Then Abraham said, since I have dared to speak to God, let me continue to suppose there are only 20. Ooh, he is bold. Child. And God said, then I won't destroy it for the sake of the 20. Oh, wait, Abraham. Okay, yes, I'm right here. This is verse 31. Then Abraham said, since I have dared to speak to God, let me continue to suppose there are only 20. And God said, then I won't destroy it for the sake of the 20. Verse 32. Finally, Abraham said, oh, let not the Lord be angry. I will speak, but this once more. Suppose only 10 are found. And God said, 10? Then for the sake of the 10, I won't destroy it. And the Lord went on his way. And when he had finished his conversation with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his tent. That was the last verse, 33 and 18. Now I'm going into chapter 19. That evening, the two angels came to the entrance of the city of Sodom, and Lot was sitting there as they arrived. When he saw them, he stood up to meet them and welcomed them. That was the first verse of chapter 19. Verse 2, sirs, he said, come to my home as my guests for the night. You can get up as early as you like and be on your way again. Oh, no, thanks, they said. This is this is still verse 2, excuse me. Oh, no, thanks, they said. We'll just stretch out there along the street. Verse 3, but he was very urgent until at last they went home with him, and he set a great feast before them, complete with freshly baked, unleavened bread. After the meal, as they were preparing to retire for the night, the men of the city, yes, the Sodomites, young and old from all over the city, surrounded the house and shouted to Lot, bring out those men to us so we can. Whoa. Are them? Wait a minute. Is that what I'm just going to use the word grape. Bring out. Wait a minute. I didn't read this. I'm telling you, this Bible is full of soap opera. Bring out those men to us so we can grape. GRAP. Use your imagination because I can't say the R word. Them. Lot stepped aside to talk to them, shutting the door behind him. Verse 7. Please, fellows, he begged, don't do such a wicked thing. Verse 8. Look, I have 2 virgin daughters, and I'll surrender them to you to do with as you wish. But leave these men alone, for they are under my protection. Let me pause for a second. Child, even in the biblical days, man was just filthy and wicked. And I'm sorry, Lot, but I'm not going to give my, you know, daughters or, children, let those people take them in exchange. I'm sorry, I'm not, that's just, to me, that's even crazy. Now, I love the good book, but this is a little strange for me. I'm sorry. I just have to say that, Lord. Um, but leave these men alone, for they are under my protection. Verse 9. Stand back, they yelled. Who do you think you are? We let this fellow settle among us, and now he tries to tell us what to do? We'll deal with you far worse than with those other men. And they lunged at Lot and began breaking down the door. Oh my gosh. Verse 10. But the two men reached out and pulled Lot in and bolted the door and temporarily blinded the men of Sodom so that they couldn't find the door. This is crazy. Verse 12. What relatives do you have here in the city? The men asked. Get them out of this place, sons in laws, sons, daughters, or anyone else, for we will destroy this city completely. What? This is, ooh. Verse 13, for we will destroy the city completely. The stench of the place has reached to heaven, and God has sent us to destroy it. Now, are they lying on God? Verse 14, so Lot rushed out to tell his daughters, fiancés, quick, get out of the city, for the Lord is going to destroy it. But the young men looked at him as though he had lost his senses. 15. At dawn the next morning, the angels became urgent. Hurry, they said to Lot, take your wife and your two daughters who are here and get out while you can, or you will be caught in the destruction of the city. When Lot still hesitated, the angel seized his hand and the hands of his wife and two daughters and rushed them to safety outside the city. For the Lord was merciful. Flee for your lives. This is verse 17. The angels told him, and don't look back. Escape to the mountains. Don't stay down here on the plan of your will. Don't stay down here on the plain, or you will die. Verse 18. Oh, no, sirs, please, Lot begged, since you've been so kind to me and saved my life, and you've granted me such mercy, let me flee to that little village over there instead of into the mountains, for I fear disaster in the mountains. See, the village is close by, and it's just a small one. Please, please, let me go there instead. Don't you see how small it is, and my life will be saved? All right, the angel said, I accept your proposition, and I won't destroy that little city. But hurry, for I can do nothing until you are there. From the time that village was named Zor, meaning little city, the sun was rising as Lot reached the village. Then the Lord rained down fire and flaming tar from heaven upon Sodom and Gomorrah and utterly destroyed them along with the other cities and villages of the plain, eliminating all life, people, plants, animals alike. But Lot's wife looked back as they was following along behind him and became a pillar of salt. That morning, Abraham was up early and hurried out to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked across the plain to Sodom and Gomorrah and saw columns of smoke and fumes as from a furnace raising from the cities there. So God heeded Abraham's plea and kept Lot safe removing him from the maelstrom of death, and that engulfed the cities. Afterwards, Lot left Zor, tearful of the people there, and went to live in a cave in the mountains with his two daughters. One day, the older girl said to her sister, "There isn't a man anywhere in the entire area that our father would let us marry, and our father will soon be too old for having children. Come, let's fill him with wine, and then we will sleep with him." What in the world? And that our clan will now come to an end. So they got. Lord, my phone is ringing. Hold on, let me get this. Oh. So they got him drunk that night, and the older girl went in and had intercourse with her father. Lord, this Bible, I'm telling you. But he was unaware of her lying down or getting up again. Lord, this is verse 33, child. I'm telling you, this Bible is something else. It is dramatic and lots of crooks and turns. Verse 34. This is chapter 19 now. Are y'all with me on this? Are y'all traumatized? The next morning, she said to her younger sister, "I slept with my father last night." Girl, let's fill him with wine again tonight, and you go in and lie with him so that our family line will continue. My God. Verse 35. So they got him drunk again that night, and the younger girl went in and they lay down with him. And as before, he didn't know that anyone was there. Oh, Lord, how you don't know this? What's going on? What kind of alcohol is this, child? And this is verse 6. And so it was that both girls became pregnant from their father. What? What in the world? The older girl's baby was named Moab. He became the ancestor of the nation of the Moabites. And the name of the younger girl's baby was Benamini. He became the ancestor of the nation of the Ammonites. Lord, what in the world? I'm near the last chapter, chapter 20. Now Abraham moved south to the Negev and settled between Kadesh and the Shur. One day, when visiting the city of Gerar, am I saying it right? Gerar, verse 2, he declared that Sarah was his sister. Wait a minute. He declared that Sarah was his sister. Then King Abimelech sent for her and had her brought to him at his place. Wait a minute, they did the same thing to Pharaoh. Oh, they did the scam last time. But that night, God came to him in a dream and told him, "You are a dead man, for that woman you took is married." But Abimelech hadn't slept with her yet. So he said, "Lord, will you slay an innocent man?" He told me. "She is my sister." And she herself said, "Yes, he is my brother. I hadn't the slightest intention of doing anything wrong." "Yes, I know," the Lord replied, "but that is why I held you back from sinning against me. That is why I didn't let you touch her. Now restore her to her husband and he will pray for you, for he is a prophet, and you shall live. But if you don't return her to him, you are doomed to death along with all your household. The king was up early the next morning and hastily called a meeting of all the palace personnel and told them what had happened, and great fear swept through the crowd. Then the king called Abraham. "What is this you've done to us?" he demanded. "What have I done that deserves treatment like this to make me and my kingdom guilty of this great sin? Who would suspect that you do a thing like this to me? Whatever made you think of this vile deed?" Now we're in verse 11, 12. Well, Abraham said, "I figured this to be a godless place. They will want my wife and will kill me to get her, I thought. And besides, she is my sister, or at least half sister. We both have the same father. And I married her. And when God sent me traveling far from my childhood home, I told her, 'Have the kindness to mention wherever we come that you are my sister.'" Oh, I see. That's right. Because in the earlier chapters, he did this to protect them because men are so envious. Excuse me. Sorry. Men are so envious. So to protect them from being killed, they're pretending to be brothers and sisters. Okay, I get this. Okay, so it wasn't, sorry, it wasn't a scam. It's a way of, okay, instead of them, wanting to kill me because they're thinking, yeah, I'm going to steal her from you. Let me get you out the way. Let's just pretend that we're siblings. Okay, I get it now. I forgot about that little tidbit when they did this thing to, Pharaoh. Okay, and then let me see, where did I leave off at? See, this was what happens. Um, okay, now we're in verse 14. Then King Abimelech took sheep and oxen and servants, both men and women, gave them to Abraham, and returned Sarah, his wife, to him. "Look, my kingdom over, and chose the place where you want to live," the king told him. Then he turned to Sarah. "Look," he said, "I'm giving your brother 1,000 silver pieces as damages for what I did, to compensate for any embarrassment and to settle any claim against me regarding this matter. Now justice has been done." And that was verse 15. I'm sorry, verse 16. Now we're in 17. Then Abraham prayed, asking God to cure the king and queen and the other women of the household so that they could have children. For God had stricken all the women with barrenness to punish Abimelech for taking Abraham's wife. But it's like, wait a minute, but he didn't know that. He thought that that was Abraham's sister. I tell you, these chapters in the Bible are just, interesting. And some of it I side eye, like, are you serious? God, am I reading this? It's like an inquirer or just some juicy gossip, too. It's like, really, like, is this what really? It makes sense, though, um, to why the world is what it is, because they had lying, they had corruption, they had just promiscuity in this good book that we're going to be reading together. So, anyways, oh, click the subscribe button. I know. If you're looking at this, you're like, girl, you really, yes, I'm reading this. I want to read the Bible. This is aligned with what's been going on with me. And staying obedient, staying on the right path, um, wanting to change and be a better person. And my relationship with God is so important, and I want that to be better. These last 15 years and probably even more, you know, chop in a hot mess and looking at the wreckage of it. See, I'm at this stage where, because now I really get why people used to say, or I would, even see it on a talk show or in real life friendships with me when someone has done me wrong and they're like, I don't really remember what I did. And I can relate to it now. I can like, okay. Sometimes, because sometimes people be manipulating. Sometimes people be, I call cap. Some people just are just bad people and they want to manipulate and take. But then there is some people that, because they're so broken internally and they do things, self sabotage good things that are in their lives, and they're just in a totally different zone. They don't realize, like me, half of the stuff that I'm looking at, the wreckage, I'm looking at the aftermath as I'm trying to pick up the pieces of my life. I'm looking back and I'm like, whoa, I did what with that person, this person? I said what? I did this. I disrespected my husband. I disrespected it's just the wreckage of it all. It's like, and then you don't remember the situation. And it's not me trying to escape accountability. No. No, because trust me, I'm feeling it and I'm accepting it. But it's just mind blowing when you think about where your mind was during the time of sickness, during the time of recklessness, during the time of perversion, during the time of just out there and not yourself. It's mind blowing. And that has been my walk. Can I be honest with you? I know some of you are too saved to even admit, you know, but I'm never too saved to admit where I went wrong and where I'm going and where I believe God. He is really, he's healing me, my mind, my heart, and he's rebuilding me. And I'm so thankful. So thankful. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for giving me this voice, this platform. Thank you for Google. Thank you for YouTube for allowing me to read your word, have fun a little bit, relate to it, and really get serious in reading it. Lord, I just ask that whoever looks at these videos of me reading the Bible, that they get something out of it, that they start to feel a change in them and an understanding like no other. I thank you for all that you're doing and what you're going to do. Lord, you already have a full line of credit with me. So I'm thanking you in advance because I know what you have for me and in my future is bigger than what I could ever imagine. And I'm not just talking about material things, I'm talking about the renewal of my spirit, the renewal of my mind. Lord, I pray that you change me completely. And you are. But just keep on. And I want to evolve and be a better me. And I want to help as I go along this road with you. Amen. I love you guys. Happy Sunday. And I will make sure to keep up with my Bible reading with you guys. Bye.